Hey, welcome back. So this is week 2 of Preppin Data Challenges for 2023. This week we're going to be creating this IBAN number. We'll be bringing together different columns and converting them all to one long string. In this case we've got 2 inputs again, which I've uploaded to SQL. So let's dive into this. Okay, so first one, in the transaction table there's a sort code, contains dashes. Remove the dashes so we just have an 8-digit string. Transactions. Because I've set my path here, so till playground prepping data inputs, I don't need all of this. Delete that. Here's my sort code in this case. I can come here and I can do that replace function. So I want to replace my sort code. If dash, I want to find all the dashes and I want to place them with nothing, so an empty string as sort code, comma. So there's my sort code, just numbers in this case. Use the Swift code to bring additional information. So let's have a look at this table. So I've got a bank, I've got a code, I've got some check digits. So the only thing I think I've got in common here is this bank column. So I'm going to use bank to join these two tables together. So to do that, I'm going to sort of give this table an alias. So I'm going to call this transactions. I'm going to call it T for transactions. And then I'm going to do an inner join over to my ED23 Swift codes. I'm going to call that S because I don't want, so writing these aliases means I don't have to keep rewriting the table names. Okay, and we want now, I've got my two tables, how do I want to match them? So I want to match them on this column, this common column called bank here. So I'm going to use these two. So on t dot bank equals s dot bank. Okay, so let's have a look. Yes, I think that's working. So we can see our Swift codes coming back here as well from this data set, as well as all our transactions. So it looks like that's working successfully. And we've still got all 100 rows from transactions. So we haven't lost any data, which is great. You can always check these things. So star here will return all the columns, but if you use again this alias, so if I go s dot, so bring me all columns back from this table, I will just get that. There's all those columns from that s dot table, and there's my sort code from transactions. Okay, so I've got to go and add this country code field. All these transactions taken in the UK, so the country code should be GB. So to add a column of just a string, you just write your string, single quotes, GB, and then I will give it a name. And you can see there GB's come down there as well. So create the IBAN. Right, let's go back and work out what that is again. So my IBAN is country code plus my check digit plus my bank code plus my sort code plus my account number. Okay, so I've already got my country code. I want my check digits. Got that. I also want my bank code as well. Got my bank, got my sort code. I also want my account number. Okay, so let's check this. Okay, ambiguous column, bank. Okay, so I added that column bank there. What it's complaining about is that there's two columns called bank, and it wants me to tell it which column it wants me to pick from these two tables. Again, you just have to take your alias, so in this case, t dot or s dot. In this case, it doesn't matter. We're doing an inner join, so all be the same values, and we're joining on these two. So I'm just going to take t dot in this case. Okay, I don't think it doesn't seem like it's the bank name because this all has spaces in it, so I think it's this actual Swift code as well instead. So get rid of bank and my Swift. And obviously it's not that sort code, it's the one I made earlier. So if I go and cut this, paste this here. Okay, I just need to go and bring all these together. So in Snowflake, the way you would do this, or in sort of a PostgreSQL, is you'd use these two lines. So this is how you paste different strings together. You know, that say plus say looks like check digit here is because it's left hand justified. I feel this is coming through as a string, and I can check this here. Yep, that is coming through as a string. So I paste that next to that. Columns. You can see that coming through there. You can see that GB12 have been pasted together. So if I do this again, my Swift code again is also coming through as a string, so that will be fine. Place is fine. And then let's go for and let's try and do a count number as well. So SQL may complain about this. And the reason is because your count number is an actual number. It may complain about you've got strings and you want to add a number to it. All kinds of complaints coming back. But how do you want me to do this? In this case, no. Fantastic. So that's a good bit of fortune. If you did run into this where this didn't work, you'd have to convert this to a string. Say you could go and cast that as a varchar 20 and that would still work. Or if you're in Postgres SQL land, like in Snowflake, you can do this 2 semicolons. That will do your type conversion there. But for this, we don't need that. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm just going to give this a name as IBAN. Play on that. Okay, there's my IBAN accounts. Okay, last step. So it wants me to remove any unnecessary fields. So it wants me to keep the IBAN, and also in this case, it wants me to include that transaction code. So I can do that here. So I can just add transaction ID, comma, that. Everything else we deleted. If I'm unsure, I can go Control / and delete, comment all of those lines out in one go. That still runs. Yep, that's coming back as I want it to. And again, that's my answer. That's my solution. Right. This solution will be available on my GitHub account in the link below. Check back next time for week 3.